These are no dark magicians. They have no special skills. People seem to forget that we know their names because they got caught. In fact, the only remarkable thing about them is what they took from the world, their victims. It's their names we should know. None of us know what we're capable of if the circumstances were right or wrong. People think the decisions you make that change the course of your life are the big ones. Marriage proposals, house moves, job applications. But she knows it's the little ones, the tiny moments, that really plot the course. Moments like this. You bought me a ticket to a planet where I lived by myself. Lies are spindly, unwieldy things. Delicate filaments, like bundles of nerves in the body. Easy to twist, hard to control, impossible to keep hold of. When you find him, you'll probably be shocked at just how much of nothing he really is. Dividing people into good and evil is just lazy. It's not secrets I like. It's discovering things that are new to me but actually were always there. Secrets are a different thing. They're destructive. Women were clearly the common denominator. His first 3 attacks focused on a woman, and there was no attack that didn't include one. All of Jim's work, his caution, his skills, his planning, his genius, it was all being undone by 2 overgrown children. How fucking infuriating. They had found an outlet, a remedy, an antidote. It was the only explanation. Corruption plagued the force just as it did every other area of society. If it was noticed, it took a brave and principled member to report it, but it did happen. Jim opened the book. Its spine cracked loudly, like a bone. Fiction only really worked if it was built like a lattice through which you were repeatedly offered glimpses of absolute truth. Discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want the most. I just want a chance to try to convince you of who I am before you find out what I did before. The only way you can lose your own shadow is to stand in the dark. The problem is, Oliver hates the dark. I was just so tired of this, of Liz's little mood swings. When she was happy, she was such fun to be around. We were best friends, really. I felt better after seeing her. A hugely disproportionate amount of it, which thrusts investigations into the spotlight from the get-go, which in turn amps up the pressure on police to make progress, fast. The toad is blue and has a space shuttle on it, piggybacking on an airplane as it flies over the skyscrapers of Manhattan. She lifts the bag and looks at it, then back at him. "Thanks," she says. "It's from the Intrepid." On the flight on the way here, I'd overheard the passengers seated in front of me talking about how affordable rental properties were so scarce in Dublin. People on shift work were time-sharing bedsits. The Nothing Man was back in the news and bringing a different kind of enthusiast to Covent Court, the true crime tourist. Momentum was what was with me. Figuring out the waitlist connection, talking to Heather, putting everything together, it felt like a rush, a flood of adrenaline that was still pulsing through my veins, urging me not to sit. That room was an airlock between my life as I knew it and my life as I feared it would be from now on. And that you couldn't go there without meeting someone you knew or someone who knew you. Bought me a ticket to a planet where I had to live by myself. People think the decisions you make that change the course of your life are the big ones. Marriage proposals, house moves, job applications. But she knows it's the little ones, the tiny moments, that really plot the course. Moments like this. Secrets are a different thing. They're destructive. Our robot overlords are coming regardless, but I'm not going to hold the door open for them. People think the decisions you make that change the course of your life are the big ones. Marriage proposals, house moves, job applications. But she knows it's the little ones, the tiny moments, that really plot the course. Do you ever think that maybe you have your shit together, it's just that your shit doesn't look like everybody else's? Everything is so much easier when he stays away from other people. The only way you can lose your own shadow is to stand in the dark. The problem is, Oliver hates the dark. You know, Lucky Charms is more of an American thing, right? A breakfast cereal? We don't actually say that. Is a rant about Patty's Day coming next? I went here. I took another sip of my drink, forgetting that it tasted like something they make you drink in a hospital. If you mean deaths in the parish and the year on next door's car, then yeah. As for actual news, no. I looked from one detective to the other. Why don't you just tell me what's happened, because obviously something has. That affords a different kind of existence, one in which you arrive into every situation with some degree of pre-approval. But you don't know it, don't realize that you're being ushered into the priority lane of life every single day. She wonders what that does to a person. Because you might manage to save a life this time, instead of being responsible for the taking of 5 because you were too stupid, too naive, too in love to see that the boy in your bed was a murderous psychopath. Did he really think I'd escaped all this intact? That I could love him and he could kill people and then I could just go on and live a normal life? That I could have those things now, no harm done? Didn't he realize what he'd done? Oh, and by the way, I hated inside. And just FYI, women do not go around all day thinking about how good their bras feel. That reviewer was right. The residents are used to living above and below and beside other people's entire lives while pretending to be utterly unaware of them, hearing each other's TVs and smelling each other's cooking but never learning each other's names. When I told people this, I invariably got the same reaction, disgust. Staying in the house where my family were slaughtered? What kind of sicko would want to do that? Jesus Christ. I stood up and started making a loop around the table, just because I couldn't stay still anymore. Are you serious? Your big concern here is that I don't have a boyfriend? Not everyone wants the same things, ma'am. And guess what? It's not the fucking 50s.
Which quotation do you like the most? Don't forget to subscribe.